Um, it's always important to have a flawless foundation. Hi guys, my name is Kayla V. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you are new here or whatever, please subscribe to my channel so you're tuned into everything that I'm giving, as well as follow me on Instagram at Kayla V. Okay, so today's video is going to be pretty much, you see the title, but it's going to be how I achieve, or my foundation routine, how I achieve a pretty flawless, not cakey, but clean face. I feel like I've been starting a lot of my videos with my face done, assuming that people already know, but for those who don't, I'm bringing this to my channel so that you can see exactly how I achieve my face. My foundation routine is pretty simple. I kind of, even if I switch out products, it's pretty much the same across the board. I do pretty much the same things. So basically today I'm going to show y'all how I achieve that, and for this video's purpose, I decided to use all drugstore products because we are still a bit quarantined, and one, it's affordable, and two, it's things that people could go in and physically get the products themselves. So I wanted to make it a little easy. You don't have to go searching for things. You don't have to really go searching. In my opinion, I don't think so. So forgive me if I might toss in like one thing that's not drugstore, but for the most part, everything will be affordable, and I'll definitely put the links for everything so that you can purchase it. But without me rambling so long, if you are interested, continue watching. I'm gonna show y'all exactly how I do my foundation. See you guys. So you always want to start with a wet beauty blender. Like, I have a water bottle in my room, so that's what I'm just going to use. But if I'm at my sink, I just sweat at the sink. But you always want to make sure you're fully, like, it needs to feel different. You can tell the difference once you wet it. Like, that is the most important thing in, you know, my routine. So now that your beauty blender is nice and wet, I am using, I'm using L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in the shade Caramel Beige. I'm 209 in this. This is honestly, sorry if that's not focusing. They have a Pro Glow and a Pro Matte. I like them both, so it's just whatever they have. Honestly, I get it. So one thing I see people, I see people do, they don't put enough foundation on their face. So like, don't be afraid. Like, I feel like people are sometimes nervous about the amount of foundation that they put on, but like, blend it out. Like, a lot of it's going to be soaked up into this beauty blender. So make sure you fully, you know, got it pressed in really well, and just blend it all out. And don't be nervous. Like, I feel like people are so nervous in the makeup department. Like, if it's really honestly terrible, you can wipe it off. But don't be like scary with the amount of product you're applying. So this shade, I usually do like go for like a 210 in my opinion, but this seems to be okay because I can contour and warm it back up. But if it matches your neck, if you can go like this and you don't see too much of a separation, the color works. But if it's not matching your neck, you need to go get another color. In my opinion, if you don't know, I would say buy one that you think is right and get one a shade darker, because you can always lighten stuff up. Sometimes it's harder to make something darker, but you know, like I always say, don't be nervous. Like, I'm gonna add a little bit more just because there's certain spots that I want to be a little more covered, because this is like the most important part. You want to make sure this foundation is laid. Like, you wouldn't want to build a house if the foundation had a little couple holes in it. No. So the same thing. Make sure it is matte and flat and nice, and you know, they say that ain't, beat your face didn't come from nowhere. It's like, really, you're beating it. Okay, and make sure you go all the way to like behind your jaw and down. This is all your face. I'm sorry, but it's all necessary. People skip this and it's just like, you're wearing a mask if that's the case. That's not cute. So sometimes I rotate parts of my beauty blender if it's like I don't put a lot of foundation, as you notice, on my forehead. So what I'll do is I'll just blend up, and then I'll just switch sides of the beauty blender and just with more of a clean size and kind of just fully blend it all out, so it's not too much. If there's a blemish or something on my forehead from a, Mother Nature or anything, then I'll focus on that. But I try to not put a lot of foundation on my forehead. One, because this used to be my problem areas for breakouts, and two, it's just, I feel like it makes me look a little more cakey, and it's not always necessary. Unless you're trying to cover a blemish, and that's different. We all get those times. Okay, so now that I feel like I'm fully, nice and matte, it's I'm saying matte, but it's shiny right now. But I said nice and covered, like, it's clean. Everything seems even. That's the word I want. Okay, next I'm gonna use, this is not, LA Girl is not from the drugstore, but this is a very affordable concealer that I really like. I'm using the shade Medium Beige. It's pretty close to my skin complexion, but it's a bit lighter. So that's why I do like this. Because I'm not really going for a super beat look. So I just make sure I fully cover this area. I don't cake it up too much, but I want to fully cover it because I don't want to have to take product from another part of my face to blend, to cover the spot. So if I'm just putting like 2 strokes, I'm gonna have to blend all that out too. It's just gonna be too much. So for me, in my opinion, I like to leave it a little more like kind of thick and concentrated in the area so that I can just kind of like press it in rather than trying to spread and move the product. That makes it a little harder for me to, have a cleaner look. I feel like that it leaves room for streaks or like blotches areas that aren't covered. So when I add my concealer, I still go into my nose a little bit because that kind of starts my contour process. And then I put like 2 lashes on 2 swipes on my chin, a swipe down my nose. And this is like my contour situation too. How I contour highlight. And then I might put like 2 little ones on the side just to make that a little brighter, okay? Same beauty blender, I go in, and like I was saying, I'm just right now pushing it into my skin. I'm not really like having to move it around because, everywhere has its own concealer. So I'm not having to take concealer from one area to spread it to another area because all of it's covered. You see what I'm saying? So, boom. Press it in and blend it out. And you want to make sure makeup is a lot of consistency. So you make sure you're consistent with your motions so you're not like moving it around. So you make sure you press this. That's why I like to use big beauty blenders because it's covering the spot. One press makes that spot right. You don't have to like have a little one. If I was to use like this one, it would be like annoying trying to like get it, and I might have room for streaks. But if I have a bigger one, it's covering a lot of space. It's doing its job at once. Kind of like painting a room trying to paint a room with a tiny brush. That's not going to cover a lot of space. You want to paint a wall with a roller so that it's covering that spot. And you don't have to keep going back over and messing up with streaks. So if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so make sure that's all the way blended out, okay? Then I just make kind of like a circular motion on my chin because this is where I want to kind of concentrate that color at. And then here, put it in the motion that you want it to go in. In the shape, and do the motion, of what you want it to do. If you don't want it to move all the way around, kind of just circle it. But if you want it to move, kind of blend it out. If I'm making sense, I'm hoping this is really making sense. So, and then up the nose, I'm not trying to push it around. I'm just kind of like pushing that in. I want this to stay where I put it. So I'm not trying to blend it all out. I'm just pushing it into where I want it, okay? And then immediately after, I like to not waste too much time. I like to go in with my setting powder. I did not have an affordable setting powder, and because of that reason, I've tried honestly a lot of them, but I feel like I haven't yet come across one that in my opinion works better than the good old Laura Mercier. Hopefully I said it right. I hear people say all kind of ways, but anyway, this is the translucent powder. Honestly, I haven't tried the other shades of the banana powder yet, and I want to see that. But the other ones that the back in the day, like kind of yellowy one, it didn't look good on me. So that's why I like this translucent one. Comment below if you know one that you're like, oh girl, this was cheap and I like it. So, put me on. So what I do, same beauty blender, I just press my sponge into the powder and I always blow off the excess. And you want to make sure you're fully covered, like it's not too many holes. Like, see how that kind of looks flat for the most part? It's not too much caked up anywhere, so that would be a smooth application. So that's, you want it to go on the same way it looks. So this facial expression is necessary in my opinion, because you want to pull, you don't want any lines in your face underneath your eye. I have them, so I like to pull my face down so that I'm making sure I'm pressing this setting powder into all of my creases and everything, so that it's staying nice and smooth, because I want it to be smooth. So same thing again, brush off the excess, blow off the excess, or shake it if you're doing somebody else's face, and stretch it and pat it in. I don't put a whole lot, because I honestly don't really bake. I might do a little bit extra, like how I went back in and like maybe just went over it one more time, but I don't honestly bake a lot. I kind of press my setting powder in enough and, you know, use the access for my other areas. But yeah, I just don't. In my opinion, I get too chalky, and that's why I don't like it. Maybe that's why some people don't like this stuff, and the people out here don't like it because it might get too chalky. So next I just go in with, I don't bake for long, I take it right off. I'll go in with my, this is a press powder by Fit Me. This is 235 Pure Beige. It's a little, if I wouldn't put this on my entire face, it's lighter than my complexion, so I just get a lighter press powder just to brush off the excess and kind of continue. I'm just using a flat top brush to kind of, with a lighter hand, kind of brush off the excess and kind of just warm this area up. Because that translucent powder can be a bit cakey at times, I just want to add some of my color back to my face and kind of kill two birds with one stone and brush off the excess powder. And then at the same time, I'll blend out any of my other foundation as well as set it with this. Okay, and then I'll just go over my forehead a little bit and put any extra product, not picking up anything else, just kind of blending out whatever's left on my brush. Okay, and then next I'm gonna go in with, I was gonna conceal, okay, if you know, you watch my other videos, I love my Morphe highlight and contour powder. Sorry, that was like so hard to get out. But for the sake of the video, I didn't want to keep using things that were, I guess you had to go to, like, because I don't know anywhere else to, I get mine from Ulta. So I wanted to use something that, you know, keep it affordable for women. So basically what I'm going to use is the same Fit Me press powder. I actually got it in a shade darker. I got it in 355. It's coconut. It's a darker shade. And I'm just going to take that same, well, no, I'm going to go with a new brush, sorry. I'm just going with like a contour type brush. This is like a, I guess, I use it for my contour. So it's just like a soft, like bookie type brush. I'm going to go on with that same, it's a press powder, it's just darker. And now I'm going to use that as my contour. So this is going to warm my face, add the definition back into my face that is gone now. So here, take it up to my forehead a little bit. I usually am blowing throughout my whole makeup process because I never want too much on my brush. I can always add more. I don't want to be like, oh, the moment I put it down, it's so much, okay? So if y'all can see what's going on, we're just warming our face up. This is a really beginner friendly, like, sometimes I do a little bit different stuff if I'm using like creams or something like that, but for the most part, like go-to face, like this is it. And I put a little bit under here just to kind of like shape out that jawline. You know, we want to give snatched, not double chin. So we're gonna do that. Sometimes because I haven't gone back into my product, I just kind of will go up a little bit and just blend so it's not a harsh line, but it's still, I like my cheekbones to look, in my opinion. But if it's not yours, just don't add as much. It's not your thing. So boom. Okay, and then I'll go on with like a small little blending brush and I'll do down my nose and add some shape back to my nose, right on the corners. If you're not a big like contour person, yeah, you ready to like snatch your nose, that real contour thing, you do a simple way. This is like my simple kind of easy contour, add some shape without, you know, doing too much. So, and it adds some definition to my face, in my opinion. Alright, so I go all the way up here and all the way down the bridge of the sides of my nose. See what I'm doing? Okay. Okay. And then the final step, which is most important. Wait, okay. Some people, this is another thing, and honestly, I feel like I wouldn't really say like this is necessary in my foundation routine, but in my opinion, I think naturally we have like, you know, you have some type of warmth rose in your cheeks. So sometimes people like this. Like some makeup looks, I like this. But for today's sake, I actually am going to add a little bit of a blush. Another Maybelline product. I'm just going to use this. This is Coral. It's Maybelline. Just a little bit. I like kind of like peachy colors usually, because it adds a nice warmth without it being too pink, but not too orangey, if that makes sense. So I just tap my brush very little, blow off any excess, and I just want to add a little bit of warmth back into my cheeks, a little color. So if you could tell the difference that that just made. It's small, but I feel like necessary. So that's what I do. And then the final most important step is to setting spray. To set it all together, it takes away that little chalky look. It kind of brings the moisture back into your skin, starts to warm your face up. And regardless, if you feel like you finish your makeup and you're like, oh, I'm chalky, just wait, finish your makeup, walk around a little bit, and it will start to roll up. But if you still after that feel like you're chalky, you might need to go back and get another shade of foundation, or you might need to mix it with a darker shade and kind of, you know, figure it out. But in the back of your hand is always your best friend. Like mix on the back of your hand before you put it on your face, because usually it's not too off, but it's usually pretty close. But if yours is off, you know, it's a lot of trial and error. So setting spray, I'm using the NYX matte finish. I really like this one. And I always like to have some type of like, if it's a palette, a little brush, something. I'm just gonna use this palette because it's right here. I like to dry my setting powder the moment I'm done. So I keep it kind of close, not too far. You can't see it, but this is how far I am back up so you can see. And then I fully go in circles, and I go a few times. Like I want to make sure I feel my face wet. Okay, and then you want to immediately dry it right after. If you have a little fan, that's cute too, but I like to, and you don't want to move your face too much. Like leave your face where you got it. Now we like doing too much. Like I'm doing too much right now talking, but I like to come a little like, oh, what's that you? Let me let it dry. Okay? And you want to fully dry it until you feel dry. I like to, I mean, I have a little fan too I use sometimes, but whatever I have, I'll just do this, or I'll walk around until I'm looking for something and dry my face. So, boom. Okay? So let me do my eyebrows real quick off camera because we've already seen me do that, and I'm gonna come back with kind of the finished look. And there we have it. Okay, so all I did was go and did my eyebrows. That video is on my channel already, and I added some mascara and like some lip gloss. That was it. Oh, the tiniest bit of highlight, but like barely any, for real. I just used this little brush and just put some right here, here, and here. I kind of am a highlight girl. I don't always use it, depends on the look, or depends on the look, but that's basically it. So yes, guys, it's really simple, but this is my foundation routine for every look. I pretty much do the same thing. I might interchange a few products here and there, but for the most part, this is it. I hope you all like it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, ask me anything, but for sure, thumbs up this video. Let me know if I taught you anything, or if you just liked it in general. I'll appreciate that. And other than that, I hope you guys just love my foundation routine. And until next time, tell someone you love them because they just might need it. Bye, guys.
I don't want these problems. I know I gotta battle.